Tonight on Prime News, a court appearance for a teenage boy charged over a South Auckland sex attack. Parliament hands police wider powers to take and test your DNA. And TV promo or party political broadcast? The opposition steps up the attacks on Bill English. This is Prime News for Wednesday, the 28th of October. In sport, having a ball in Tokyo, days out from an historic Bledisloe Cup test. And tennis great Andre Agassi admits he lied to escape a ban for using the drug P.
This is Prime News. First at 5:30.
Kia ora, good evening. A teenage boy has appeared in the youth court charged over an indecent assault in the South Auckland suburb of Mangere. The attack happened in a walkway which has been the scene of a series of sexual assaults in recent weeks.
Māori wardens continued to patrol this walkway in Mangere while parents walked their children to school. Another attack, this time on a 29-year-old woman, led police to an arrest yesterday afternoon.
And gives our community some degree of comfort. The police are not indicating whether they think this is the final end of it, but I think it's a very good start for us.
The teenage boy appeared here in the Manukau Youth Court charged over yesterday's attacks. He entered no plea and has been remanded to reappear next Monday. Police are still investigating 3 earlier attacks in Mangere dating back to early September.
Yeah, I think it's important for the mums and dads of our community to continue to be vigilant, as they always will, around their children. Listen to the police and their encouragement to them to just keep an eye out for their kids.
Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Crime Stoppers line 0800 Crime Stoppers. Todd Simmons, Prime News.
A man is dead after a glider crash just south of Auckland. Police say the craft crashed into a paddock at Nikau Road in the Bombay Hills at around 4 this afternoon. The man was the only person in the glider. Parliament has passed a law giving police greater powers to take DNA. The Criminal Investigations Bodily Samples Bill allows officers to take a sample from people charged with a wide range of offences. By 2011, it will also include people they intend charging. Civil liberty groups have criticised the bill, but the government says there are enough safeguards in place to prevent abuse. The opposition has stepped up its attack on the Finance Minister over his appearance in a promotion for state-owned television. Bill English has confirmed his office made changes to the script for the promo for a series of programs on the economy. But he has rejected Labor claims that the ad is nothing more than a party political broadcast.
This is the advertisement at the centre of a political storm.
We're nearly through the tough times and things are looking up.
It's a promotion for a series of programs on state television about the economy, but it's turned into some unwanted publicity for the government.
Will he concede that it wasn't a good look for a shareholding minister to take hundreds of thousands of dollars of free advertising from a state broadcaster?
The Finance Minister says the idea for him to appear in the promo was totally TVNZ's.
They could, of course, chosen that member to front it, but they didn't. They could have chosen Mr Goff to front it, and they didn't, and I think the reasons are pretty obvious.
Labor is laying a formal complaint with the state broadcaster. Unhappy taxpayers are paying for what it describes as a party political broadcast and a breach of ethics.
The promotion should either stop or balance should be provided.
TVNZ continue to air the promo, saying it was a creative decision to use the Finance Minister, not a political one.
I think it's extraordinary naivety from a professional news organisations to say marketing did it and they didn't talk to news and current affairs, even though it's about a news and current affairs series.
Questions are also being raised over changes the Finance Minister's staff made to the scripts. He's adamant they were only minor.
I don't have the ability to tell them how to run their TV station. In fact, I'm expressly forbidden from doing that.
One thing his staff didn't pick up was the incorrect grammar.
Together, us Kiwis can do it.
What he should have said, of course, was we Kiwis.
I think you can blame the journalists for that.
Sarah Batley, Prime News.
But there has been better news for Bill English today. He won't face an inquiry into his housing arrangements. The Finance Minister came in for criticism when it was revealed he received more than $900 a week in accommodation allowances while living with his family in Wellington. However, the Auditor General's office says there are no grounds for an inquiry. Mr English has welcomed the news.
The report shows that I was open about our family situation, that I took advice, that I followed that advice. The Auditor General has proposed changes to the rules to make sure that the system for MPs and ministers' housing allowances fit together, because my situation was caught in the transition.
Radovan Karadzic has boycotted his own war crimes trial for a second day. Prosecutors have now begun outlining their genocide case against the former Bosnian Serb leader without him. It comes as one of his former deputies was freed from prison after being granted an early release.
The chair where Radovan Karadzic should be sitting remains defiantly empty, but his trial for war crimes is continuing in his absence, with the prosecution opening their case by accusing him of genocide.
Approximately 3 weeks after the largest mass killing on European soil since World War II, the Supreme Commander of the forces involved explained in a closed session of his parliament who was responsible for the operation, which saw more than 7,000 men and boys killed and 25,000 women, children, and elderly expelled. I was in favor of all the decisions that we made, and I support them.
The man known as the Beast of Bosnia was arrested last year after 13 years on the run. Disguised as a New Age guru, he knew he'd soon be tried in court, and that day of reckoning has now come. In the War Crimes Tribunal, he was accused of commanding the siege of Sarajevo. The prosecution claims this 3.5-year campaign of shells and snipers' bullets was carried out on his orders. He was also allegedly the architect to the massacre at Srebrenica. Thousands of Bosnian Muslims and Croats were murdered in concentration camps. Karadzic was, it's claimed, attempting to create an ethnically pure Serbian state by harnessing the forces of nationalism, hatred and fear.
Radovan Karadzic is refusing to accept the authority of this court. His legal team have argued that there are 1.2 million documents associated with the trial. And because Karadzic is representing himself, he needs another 9 months to mount a defence.
It is, though, an agonising time for victims of the Balkans conflict. More than 100 had travelled to The Hague, hoping to see Karadzic in the dock. Many feel they're being denied justice. Anger, too, at the release of this woman, Biljana Plavsic, one of Radovan Karadzic's accomplices. She pleaded guilty to war